We are back once again from the palatial studios of Sight and Sound Events in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes, it is Staying Up with Pat and Jodi, and I am... What are you doing over there?
Nothing.
She's mimicking me. I'm Pat Harris. I'm one of the hosts. The one who's the puppet over here is my wife, Jodi, who watches way too much wrestling. And
I'm your stunt double, Pat. I'm your Ms. Dow.
Everybody who watches wrestling gets that. Everybody else has no idea what you're talking about.
I am your Ms. Dow. I am your Damien Ms. Dow. No,
even Roman is going, what?
Who? Where?
Oh, talk about obscure references. Okay.
Exactly. I am Jodi Harris. Hola. Hola, buenas noches.
Wow, that was very good.
Yeah!
She's learning more and more Spanish each week.
¿Qué tal?
How very nice. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you're supposed to say, how do you feel? I'm saying, how do you feel? So, ¿qué tal?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Me mucho fantastico, but remember...
Mucho fantastico?
But remember, before we ever do a podcast, I have to remember one thing.
What?
Don't answer the Sight and Sound phones, or else I'll never get in the studio.
Yeah, so let's just start with that. That our official record start time is like 6 p.m., right? Okay. It's 6:05. We're running a little bit late. And what does Jodi do but answer the phone? So it is now 6:30.
5.
And we're just getting started. Thanks to Jodi just going, I got to answer the phone. I got to answer the phone.
See, you don't understand. Before I became the CEO of Fun, I actually had a very interesting job. I worked for ABC Television, and I worked in a department called Audience Information. And shout out to my girl, Carole Grill, who's listening. Carole, she's not Carole Grill anymore. Carole, is it Oh, God. Carole, I'm so sorry. I butchered your new last name. But you'll always be Carole Grill to me. My good girl, Carole Grill, she worked with me in Audience Information. And basically what we were the complaint department for the ABC television network. So back in the day, before there was internet, and before cell phones, if you hated a show, so let's just take the show Who's the Boss? Tony Danza, Judith Light, very popular show where you remember Who's the Boss?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. If there was something derogatory about Italian Americans, and that didn't happen on Who's the Boss like every week, Italian Americans would call into our department at ABC.
Telegrams, telegrams.
We did have a teletype. We actually had teletype.
Morse code.
No, we didn't have Morse code. Yeah. We didn't take sticks and rub them together for fire. I'm not that old, folks. No, but we would take the complaints. So I am constantly... It must be something, Pat, that I grew up with. When I hear a phone ring, I have to answer it. I'm sorry. I just have to answer it. It's the way it is.
Yeah, I know. We've been late to many an event because of your need to answer the phone.
It was good. I went to Catherine Gibbs. That was what I was taught to do. Yeah, Catherine Gibbs was a business college.
If I don't answer the phone, the world will end.
I know. Oh, my God. I won't be able to get my cookies.
I know. We got it.
Shout out. Look, not only one box.
We got 2 boxes.
2 boxes
of brown butter cookies.
And not from Valerie.
No, you could just forget about that. That's not going to happen.
She can make them for pennies.
She's not making anything. Trust me. Pennies, dollars.
Look at these delicious cookies.
Yes, and you could say who gave them to us.
They were given to us by Jason and Jess Yoshino, who are very good friends of ours. They are in South Dakota, and I just want to thank...
It's got to be cold there.
Ooh, it is. Jason, It's got to be Jess. It's super cold.
They're probably in their house right now because they don't want to leave. Anyway, it's 75 today here, by the way.
Yeah, don't rub it in. Rub it in. But thank you, Jess and Jason. And they're having a baby, Pat, in just like a few weeks. There'll be a baby Yoshino coming.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little boy.
A little boy who can't enjoy those delicious brown butter cookies for at least a year, right? I don't know. We don't have kids, so I have no idea at what age you can actually start eating solid food. So you have to wait till teeth come in or so. I don't know.
Don't you remember, Pat?
I don't remember. I was too young. I don't remember that.
So I want to thank you guys all the way from South Dakota. I love your little note. It came in the mail. I had no idea it was a big surprise. And again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in a few weeks at the Mobile Beat DJ conference that's coming up at the luxurious Riviera hotel.
Yeah, and we mean
casino.
luxurious.
It's top of the
Uber
line.
luxurious.
Probably the next no, I take it back. I was going to say the next hotel to be imploded.
No, they're happy with the Riviera. They're going to keep it that
Riviera's
way for another
nice.
20 years.
No,
They
it's
just
nice.
remodeled a lot
they
of
just
it.
remodeled, not the penthouse.
No. Our penthouse looks exactly the same from the last 2 years.
3. I think we stayed
3
in that room
years,
3
yes.
years. It's exactly the same. We get the same room number.
Same room number, the same carpet,
the same every. I just hope that this year,
same bed sheets.
Pat, you missed it last year, and I shouldn't be talking DJ entertainment, but Pat, you missed this great, incredible party last year. The room right next door to us, and Dana Carlisle and Jeff Green were with us, was Bill Herman's hot tub party.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God, it was so incredible. Bill Herman, he throws a hot tub party. If you're going to be at Mobley, you have to go.
I don't even want to know what happens in these things while I'm not there. I mean, and everybody, most everyone who listens to the show has no idea who any of these people are, and they're going, "What? Who's Bill Herman?" Now they're going to look him up on Facebook and Google his name and figure out which Bill Herman is the one who has crazy hot tub parties in Vegas.
Like hot tub time machine. We'll go
Wow.
back. Oh my God, I'm sorry I lost it because we had so much fun.
She's what is it? PBA? That what's that commercial we saw for PBA?
I have PBA.
Uncontrolled laughing and crying. She just laughs for no reason.
I do. I'm a candidate for that medicine, PBA. I just want to bleed from parts of my body.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Well, with that, Pat.
With that, on a more serious note, we'll change it a little bit as you sit here and clear your senses out. We do want to send a shout out to DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, who has had some serious health issues, and most of it was, I think, dealt to him just based on his schedule. He had a sinus infection that just got worse and worse, and had to spend some time in the ICU, and now he has to have a little bit of a procedure in a couple days. And definitely thoughts and prayers out to DDP and to a full recovery very quickly, because he has to be here in a couple of months.
We want to do our DDP yoga. We want to do our diamond. So this diamond cutter, bang, goes out to DDP and his beautiful, beautiful fiance Brenda.
Yes.
So we're rooting for you, DDP. I know you're going to get well soon, and I hope we made you smile. I hope you listen to the rest of the show and that you laugh just uncontrollably like I just did with the hot tub party.
So if your doctor says, "Oh, you also have PBA," and you just laugh uncontrollably, you know that's what it is.
You know that's what it is. But Pat, not to laugh, this is a serious topic. We lost a very good person this week. And Claudio, you know who I'm talking about? Are we going to spoil it for you?
Maybe.
Oh, okay, maybe. All right. Well, Claudio, our amazing engineer, has not watched this week's episode of The Walking Dead.
Character we lost.
We lost a character, Claudio. I hate Tyrese. Yes.
Tyrese.
Now, here's what I don't understand.
Spoiler alert. Well, here's the thing. If you're hearing this, you're like 5 days or more after it aired. There's no spoiler.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all over the internet.
It really is.
Tyrese is dead.
And here's the thing, Pat. This is what kills me. Tyrese, in previous episodes, when they went to go get the medicine, remember after Karen? I think it was after Karen died at the prison.
Yeah.
They go to get the medicine, and that was the first time we ever saw like lots and lots of walkers, like a big herd.
Yeah, big herd.
Do you remember that everybody took off in the car, but Tyrese, because he was so upset that he lost Karen, was like comatose in the car, and then he gets out, he snaps out of it. And that's what got him in trouble, by the way. He gets in these states where he forgets where he is. But he got out of the car, and he must have killed like 30 zombies with his hammer. Bang, 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 all over the place. But now, here's Tyrese. He goes into Noah's house. He stares at this picture of this beautiful house. He goes into one of those moments.
The daydream moment.
And one walker, who's 8 years old, by the way, bites him in the arm.
And pretty much takes care of Tyrese, a little 8-year-old. He did get bit twice, but he also talked about in his flashbacks that he was having in his loss of blood, fever-pitched moments. He did talk about that moment where he got out of the car, and he just thought he was going to die. He's just going to take out as many as he could until they took him out, and apparently he underestimated his own abilities because he managed to kill off a bunch of them and then
With
make
a
it
hammer.
back. So
With a hammer.
yeah, he's a big, strong guy, but as far as the characters goes, is one of those ones where you don't think was made for this world, for the zombie apocalypse world. Too many hang-ups, and like I said, the zombie apocalypse, not a good place to be daydreaming.
No, you need to be on your toes at all time. And he got,
because I think had he been on his toes, I think he could have taken the 8-year-old.
Yeah, hello. I think Chingo could have took out the 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Our two dogs,
Yeah.
Champ and Bingo, could have took out the 8-year-old. But it was sad, I mean, but what was really interesting about the whole, and if you're the Walking Dead thing, was the fact that they brought back all the characters, and you had the governor who represented the evil, which totally freaked all of us out. The governor shows up, Claudio. Yes, he is back, but as in he represents the bad, and then you got the good, and you got the girls, Mika and her sister. Oh my gosh, why am I forgetting? Lindsay? Oh,
I forget.
Mika. It'll come to me. But the two little girls that were in the episode, with Carole. Carole had to kill one of them, and then you had Beth. And just when you thought Beth was done singing with her little guitar,
She got another song
she
in.
got another song in.
Good for her.
Good for Beth.
Well, what's nice was if you watch Talking Dead afterwards, of course, this week they had Gotta Call Saul or whatever in between.
People were mad.
Yeah, well, the Breaking Bad fans were probably happy because it did get record numbers. But we had to wait an hour for Talking Dead. And they did talk about those scenes and how they had to actually build a sound stage. They didn't use an actual house because they had to sneak these actors back in so that people wouldn't see them, because this is filmed probably 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. So people would go, whoa, wait a second, why is the governor back there? Why are these other characters back in the scene? So they had to be they had to do it on a sound stage and sneak everybody in the back door, basically.
Yeah. No, I remember when Carole got hit by the car in the when she got hit by the car and she was taken to the hospital where Dawn's hospital. I remember people had tweeted it out and had posted it on the internet that Carole gets hit by a car. So, they have to really, really be careful. It's a very, very popular show, and we really enjoy it. I like it. Pins and needles the whole time. And they swerved us because when the episode opened, they were digging dirt, and we thought they were burying Beth because Beth had just gotten killed the previous episode.
And the big reveal at the end was that it was actually Tyrese that they were burying. And apparently this was taking place 17 days after they got Beth, after Beth's death. So, they did it was a little more artsy episode. They did they even admitted that they changed the style of this episode quite a bit. A lot of time shifting, a lot of flashbacks and getting into the heads of the characters. Like I said, it was good to see some of the old characters, although Karen wasn't in any of the flashbacks.
That was a little Lizzie. That's it. Mika and Lizzie. I had to look it up. It was killing me. Mika and Lizzie. Yeah, Karen, who was Tyrese, who he loved, his character loved Karen. She wasn't anywhere on the episode, and I'm surprised it didn't come up on the Talking Dead when they had Greg Nicotero, as a guest. Why didn't one of the fans ask for Karen, or even Chris Hardwick say,
I'm sure if we search on the internet that we'll see a lot of responses to that, because that they pick up every little detail that even the producers miss. So that they people are asking what happened to Karen.
What do you think is going to happen with those? Which, and I have to watch it again. I only saw it the first time, but you had those bodies that were cut in half.
That is obviously just like they kind of led up to, when we saw Terminus, when we saw that first sign for Terminus. It's just kind of something to come, because Nicotero actually even said that this is something that's going to be part of one of the future storylines. So obviously one of the next either groups or whatever that they're going to encounter, the next terminus for them, the next governor for them, is going to be this group that is chopping people up. And carving. Was it M's on their forehead?
I'd have
carving,
to watch it again.
And then they threw a bunch of the torsos, and they were still zombies, but they cut all the arms and the legs and threw the torsos in the back of a pickup truck that then crashed. But it's kind of a weird thing. So they're definitely pushing it. They said it's going to be a pretty intense final 8 episodes, which I don't doubt it.
I hope so. I mean, the Tyrese thing was definitely intense. I don't think anybody expected a major character to be killed off, but we'll see where they go with it. Next week, we'll see. They are going to go to Washington. They went to Noah's place, and now they're going to go to Washington because they feel that maybe Eugene was right. He doesn't have the cure for the zombies, like what turns people into zombies. However, they think that if there was any place in the United States that would be not safe, but might have the answers to these
Washington, D.C.
Would be Washington, D.C.
So that's the next destination.
We see? Wouldn't it be funny if we saw like a President Obama zombie?
Yeah,
Hillary Clinton zombie.
Oh yeah, isn't she already? Oh no, that's she looks like a zombie. That's what it is.
No, that's John Kerry.
Was that wrong?
John Kerry. John Kerry kind of looks like Fred Gwynn. Now you've got who's got PBA now? He does. He looks like John Kerry, Secretary of State. Looks like Fred Gwynn, Herman Munster.
Herman Munster, yeah. That's terrible.
I'm sorry.
That's terrible. I just wonder, they're going to D.C., and the next Sharknado is in D.C. Do we see a crossover episode?
We already saw that on Z Nation. When does that come back?
I don't know. They said it's signed for another season. If they're smart, they don't premiere it until after the 8 episodes of Walking Dead are done, because then it's going to be another 6 months before Walking Dead starts again. So put it in the middle there and give all the zombie people their fix of, more of the cartoon. Obviously, we talked about this before, but it's more of a cartoony kind of silly Sharknado version of a zombie show. But it'd still be fun to watch. It's still fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely. It's a definitely fun show to watch. So, but hats off to The Walking Dead. Another, I thought it was a good episode.
Interesting. Very well done.
Bye, Tyrese.
Yep. Bye,
Adios.
Tyrese.
Vaya con Dios.
But we kind of knew he was going to go. We talked about it. We knew that he wasn't all there.
I predicted.
He wasn't all there. Wasn't willing to do what he needed to do, and he had issues. And if anybody has issues in this world, they aren't going to be around for long. And they mentioned it too in The Talking Dead, is that if you are the moral compass of this group, your days are numbered. Not that everybody's isn't.
And if you're an African American male, just saying.
Like, because Bob and Tyrese went.
Think about it. Not only Bob and Tyrese, we lost T-Dog. T-Dog was African American. T-Dog. We lost the prisoner guy. The guy that was with Jasper, that other guy.
Okay, but we also lost Beth and.
No, but I'm just saying it seems they kill off more African American actors than any other show.
Are you saying that the producers are racist?
No, I'm not saying that at all. Who's left that's black?
No, they'll maybe
Michonne is okay,
Michonne,
but she's a woman,
and she's a badass too.
Yeah,
She has no problems taking off your head,
but
she has the survival skills to make it.
Yeah. So, Father Gabriel's black. I predict Father Gabriel.
Father Gabriel has no tools for surviving. He hides when they show up. The fact that he's lived this long is amazing.
Let's just say, people, I'm not the only person to have this opinion about African American men on The Walking Dead. Just saying, it's out there.
Wow, what a stretch.
And speaking, do you notice how pale I'm watching the camera? Some of you that
are watching this on YouTube and not listening to it on SoundCloud.
And I noticed, Pat, that I am due for a tan.
You are very pale. You're very, very Caucasian today.
I know. I feel very pale, even though it's like 80 degrees. Even though it's 80 degrees outside.
A little difference.
I definitely think it's time to hit the spray tan. So I'm going to rush right over to Rio Tan because, Pat, you're not tan unless you're Rio Tan.
Wow, and that was a non-paid endorsement.
Yes.
Unless he gets you a free tan for that, which I doubt it. He'll give you a discount. He'll give you $3 off for the plug. $3 off of your next tan, I guess.
Gary, you heard him.
$3 off each tan.
No,
that's it.
Gary will take care of me, I'm sure. I'll get the family discount. Did you know that he's my long lost brother? So There you go. So I'm going to rush right over to Rio Tan, work on the tan, and maybe next time we do Staying Up with Pat and Jodi, I'll look somewhat darker.
You won't look like Sheamus.
Or Paige.
Or Paige.
Oh, okay.
More wrestling references.
More wrestling
like that, right? See, I even threw some in there because everybody's going, who the hell is Sheamus?
Well,
but Sheamus is an Irish name. So even if you don't know who Sheamus is, you're going, it's a pale Irish guy. You got to know that.
Well, Vincent Velasquez will know exactly who we're talking about. Vincent is the host. I call him Vinny, but he goes by Vincent. He is the host of DJ's Drinking Coffee with Mike Walter. So he gets the whole wrestling reference, and shout out to him.
And no shout out to Mike?
Of course, shout out to Mike. I'm hoping to get Mike Walter. I mean, here I am blowing it, but I'm hoping that we can get Mike Walter on the other radio show that I host called Weddings Done Right Radio, the how-to for the I Do. I would love to get Mike on the show. So, Mike, if you're listening, I will buy you dinner. I will pick you up at the luxurious Riviera Hotel. I will pick you up in a Mercedes.
And she will not drive on the wrong side of the street, on the wrong side of the wrong way on a one-way street. She promises not to do that.
Well, he was in the back of the van the night that happened. He was him and Marcello and a whole bunch of other people were sitting. I must have had 30 people in a van with Charlene. Charlene was in there.
You got 30 people in that van?
Yes, 30 people in the
Man,
van.
should have taken pictures of that.
And I went down. Yes, I did. And this was funny. This is not funny, but today on the Today Show, they did a story about people who drive on the wrong side of the road and how many people have been killed that way. But in my defense, it was downtown. The streets were all being constructed. Thank God it was downtown because nobody was on.
Lots of construction, lots of potholes, lots of weird.
And
detours,
I accidentally went down the wrong street.
That happens. It's just funny to tease you about it.
But it's sad because there have been many people who have lost their lives, and thank God everybody in my van was safe. We got them to the hotel. We made it downtown. I pull into the parking lot, and I'll never forget this. John Ross and Big Daddy, who are DJs in Connecticut, were in a separate car. So they pull up next to me, and the first thing John Ross says is, "Are you drunk?" And then I went into
It is Vegas.
And then I went into PBA mode and started laughing and said, "No, I'm not drunk. I made a wrong turn." And that's when everybody in the van just said, God forbid something happened to us. Mobile Beat would now be forever known as the night 30 DJs were killed because I drove a van down a runway street.
A runway street?
Or one way.
One of those
one
two.
way.
Or a runway. That would be worse. If it was a runway, then they'd definitely kill all 30 of them because the collision. Then there'd be more because he'd hit a plane.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
But, so anyway. So, Pat, I did not defriend anybody or unfriend anybody this week.
You did not unfriend anybody. So you're on a roll. So we had a good week on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, nobody pissed me off this week. So
because you could get the hatchet.
Yeah, you can definitely. I have no problem with unfriending you on Facebook. So no, everybody survived this week.
You're safe. They're safe.
What do you have for me?
That's good. Well, I did want to talk about something that and it's just one of those things that I think everybody has heard ad nauseum at this point, but you still want to cover is if you watch the Grammys, you did notice that our boy Kanye is at it again, and he decided. I guess he decides that he is the. How would we put it? He knows better than everybody else, and that if they make a decision he's not happy with, he needs to go up there and say something about it. If you remember, it was, Taylor Swift a few years ago?
Yeah.
That he went up there and basically took all her time and just was a complete jerk and made her cry or whatever else. Well, he tried to do it with Beck this time, which I believe Beck won for Album of the Year over Beyonce. Now, look, Beyonce is a very talented vocalist. She's a beautiful woman, and we love watching her. Nobody knew that Beck had a new album this year. So they're going, "Hey, what? Beck had a new album?"
I had no idea Beck had a new album this year.
But obviously,
a lot of requests for Beck.
But obviously, the people who are the judges for this thought that it was a better album. And Beck, if you don't know, Beck is a very, very talented musician and artist, and writes his own stuff and plays lots of different instruments. And so Kanye didn't make it up to the stage all the way to say anything, but he did have a lot to say afterwards, which I thought was kind of typical Kanye, kind of the narcissistic, delusional I know better, and it's basically saying that they're diminishing at the respect of the art and the craft. They're smacking people in their face, and when they deliver monumental feats of. I don't know what a monumental feat of music is, and you're disrespecting, disrespectful to inspiration. I don't get that. And he basically said that Beck needs to respect artistry and should have given his award to Beyonce.
Are you kidding me?
Let's go back and let's repeat that. Beck needs to respect artistry and should have given his award to Beyonce. So in other words, what he's saying is,
wow,
here's a guy who's been a musician and an artist for years, who obviously produced a pretty amazing album, and when he received that album should have said, I'm going to give this to Beyonce because hers was better.
Wow.
That's the thinking of our boy Kanye West. I don't get it. I don't get the concept there. How you think that other people are being disrespectful to the art, but yet you make a statement like that.
Who allows Kanye West to sit in the front row of an award ceremony anyway? That person should be fired.
The Grammys, they brought him back. The fact is, they should never performed. They should have never even let him come back.
Well, I don't think he didn't disrespect Taylor Swift. It wasn't the Grammys, Pat. It was the MTV VMA Awards.
The VMA. Either way, he has a record of interrupting.
Well, you realize that if it was any other person that bodyguards, like if you're the average Joe, we are, and you're sitting in the audience and you just happen to score some really great seats for any of the awards programs, do you know if you ran out of your seat and, you'd be tossed out on your ass.
You'd be tackled before you got to the steps.
Absolutely.
And thrown out.
And here's Kanye, just put him in the front row.
Look, and I get that people think he's a genius, that he's this, that he's
really?
that. Honestly, I don't get it. I'm not a big fan.
I'm not a big fan either.
There's a lot of far more talented artists out there, and ones that don't sound like complete idiots every time they open their mouth and aren't disrespectful to other artists who are far more talented than he is.
I agree. I agree. It's just very, very. It's just a strange man. He's just a very strange person.
You know what it is, and I compare it to that spoiled kid that has parents that let him get away with everything. That he gets into trouble and he does goofy stuff and he picks on other kids and the parents don't do anything about it. So the kid keeps getting worse and worse. And this is Kanye West. Nobody's telling him no. Nobody's saying no. Stop that. Not good. Yeah. He has all his people behind him shaking their heads going, yeah, you're right, Kanye.
Until the money runs out.
Yeah, and then they're all going to be like, that guy was an idiot.
Screw you. He was a jerk. Yeah.
Until he stops paying them. But yeah, so it's just, but it's amazing how when we see somebody as a celebrity and people look up to them, how much they'll let them get away with and they'll just agree with them regardless of how ridiculous they are and what they're saying.
Well, a lot of celebrities had yes men, I mean, look at Elvis.
Oh, absolutely.
Elvis had, people knew that Elvis was, shout out to Elvis. He's not here tonight, our Elvis. But shout out, hey, Elvis.
He was right over there.
Yeah, he was. Jeff, our Elvis. But my point is that celebrities surround themselves, let's not if we could take Elvis. Yeah, he was doing drugs and he was doing bad things and people were getting him this stuff. But even, Pat, you could relate to Mike Tyson.
Tyson absolutely had yes people around him that basically were enablers. I think a lot of these guys that go down these paths surround themselves with these hangers-on that are enablers and, oh, absolutely, you're right. No, you go, kid. No, don't listen to anybody else. And those are people that are never there when things go bad and the money runs away and it goes away. They'll agree with you and say you're right and help you kill yourself. The moment you can't give them money or take them to cool places and limousines, they don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
And I think that, Kanye has surrounded himself. I think he needs a little bit of a reality check, and maybe he needs somebody to tell him to, shut the hell up and not just say that, oh, yeah, you're the greatest all the time, because it just the stuff that he says, one, he contradicts himself constantly. You can't say that these people aren't respectful and everything else when he is the most disrespectful person to other artists. Because it's like, if I don't like them, they're not good is basically the way he looks at it.
Yeah, and if he doesn't like the way an award goes, he's going to run up on the stage and let you know that this was a ripoff, man. You should have won the award.
And he believes that he's that important that everybody needs to listen to him.
Could you imagine if like all the award shows had like a Kanye in the audience? Like, take for example, poor DJ Entertainer of the Year. That they do in Atlantic City. Could you imagine, Mike? Oh my God, Mike Walter. Could you imagine if some DJ just ran up and goes, Marcello doesn't deserve that award. I do. I was better than him. Or somebody.
Or no, this guy is way better.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like, where were you born and raised? In a barn? I mean, where were your parents? It's just, like I said, it's beating a dead horse right now, but who puts this guy in the front row?
I don't know. And Beck came back with a response, and Beck was absolutely a gentleman. And he even said,
Beck,
yeah, he's one of the most laid back artists you'll ever run into. He said, absolutely, I thought Beyonce was going to win. And at the after party, not only that, Beck went in praise of his detractor. He went and says that he thinks that I still love, as far as Kanye, I still love him and think he's a genius. I don't get that. I think maybe Beck is embellishing a little bit.
Really?
But a genius?
Really? Really?
And I aspire
But there are
to
people
he says, I aspire to what he does. Now, if you talk about his marketing and everything else, yeah, he's done an amazing job of marketing himself and creating this empire around him and, doing everything else. But as far as an artist, is he, maybe he said, maybe it's genius as far as, because he is who he is and he's been able to make the type of money he has. And he's, because look, he's no Prince, he's no Michael Jackson, there's a lot more talented people out there that, I don't know. It's kind of annoying, and it's just sad that we constantly have to listen to him and that the networks keep putting him on and giving him a forum for this. And every time they interview him, they're all just kissing his butt. And they're all, oh yeah, Kanye, you're right. And no matter who interviews him, nobody calls him to task.
Well, we both work in television. We've worked in television. We still work in television. That it just must be ratings. It sells magazines.
It is. If it gets viewers.
It sells, viewers watch it. I mean, generally, it's like the hokey pokey. Isn't that what it's all about?
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
So, Pat, speaking of... the other day, Sunday, when we were watching when the Grammys were on, but actually it was earlier in the day, I went outside in front of the house and we had a visitor on our front lawn.
Yes, we did. And a little dog from what we found out was down the street. Now, it gets back into pet peeves because we're kind of in pet peeve mode. It sounds like this last half hour is going to be like all whining and complaining, but
it's not.
So Jodi's knocking on my window as I'm editing, and I'm what? I go out there, and there's this little dog, this cute little dog out there, and she's very friendly. So we call her over, and I manage to get a hold of her, and the dog's little tag says her name's Brandy and has the number. So we're like, okay, we'll call the number. I'll hold on to Brandy.
We didn't know Brandy lived up the street, by the way.
No, we had no idea. But she obviously had to be from the neighborhood. So we call the number, nothing. Text the number, nothing. Keep texting. Finally, we get a text back after we said, hey, we have your dog. And the person that texts us back says, I'm at a concert. Can you call my husband? I'm at a concert. Can you
laugh,
call
Claudia.
my husband?
Yeah.
This is their dog that we found, that got loose, that we found and we have a hold of. And she can't even step away from the concert long enough to call her own husband to tell him to come get the dog. So, okay, we're dog people. Give us the number. We called the husband. Voicemail. Text him, nothing. Finally, after a few minutes, he says, well, where are you? And we said, well, we're right down the street. We're over here. And we gave him the address. He does not leave his house. He sends his 6 and 8-year-old daughters to come down and get the dog. He won't even leave his house to do it. He sends.
That's unbelievable.
So the kids that were probably responsible for letting the dog out to begin with.
What kind of a parent are you that you get a text message from a complete stranger who says, I have your dog. I even sent a photo just to prove that we did have Brandy, because in this world, you don't know what you're dealing with. And he sends his 2 little girls. He doesn't know who we are.
Yeah.
Isn't that how... This is how kids get kidnapped. I remember hearing stories about how cars pull up to little kids and they're like, "Have you seen my puppy?" And the kid goes over to the car and that's how they get snatched.
Yeah.
That's how they get kidnapped. I mean, what kind of a parent doesn't come out of the house and get their own dog?
Yeah.
Sends his kids down.
They were literally half a block away from where we were, and
Unbelievable.
couldn't come out, couldn't be bothered.
Could you imagine if
Couldn't be
anything
bothered.
happened to my two dogs, Champ
my
and
goodness.
Bingo, Chingo? If one of them got loose and somebody sent me a message, I would call that person. I don't care if I was at a concert. I don't care where I was, church, wherever, wrestling event. I would pick up the phone and I would be like, "Oh my God, is Champ okay? Is Bingo okay? Oh my God." I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, I honestly don't get some pet owners. I mean, anybody who knows us knows that we're, very much dog people, and it gets very frustrating when people don't take care of their dogs. When a lot of times we walk the dogs at the park, and people just take their dogs and let them off the leash, and they're running around, and of course they come running after our dogs. And if you own dogs, you know that they don't take well to other dogs running at full speed towards them. And whether the dog is aggressive or not, they see that as an act of aggression. So then you get dog fights going on. You have to deal with all that. And just because they decided that they didn't need to worry about the leash law, and I guess they're too lazy to go to the dog park, which is across the street,
Right.
where they can let their dogs off the leash, and the dogs are all off the leash so that it's less likely for something to happen. But, keep your dog on the leash if you're not there. Pick them up if somebody calls them and says they have them.
Exactly.
And if they poop in the grass, pick up the damn poop. I can't tell you how many times I've had to clean off my shoe because somebody was too lazy to pick up their damn poop. And there's poop bags all over the park. These
Pat's
little
on
dispensers.
a roll, folks.
Pick up your poop.
Pat's on a roll. Oh my
I'm telling-
gosh. So Pat, let me
Do you like stepping in poop?
depends on who pooped.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
I'm only kidding. No, I do. Pat, I don't even pick up poop. I'm the person
know
who
that.
doesn't pick it up. That's why I go out and I walk with you with the dogs, because there is no way I am picking up hot, steamy poop. Sorry. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I don't have children. No desire. I have no desire.
But
None.
your children probably wouldn't be pooping in the park. They would be pooping in a diaper, and then hopefully eventually, in a bathroom. If you've done your job right.
PBA is coming back.
Back.
I feel it. I feel it. So I better get out of this and tell you that, Pat, do you know what country has the sexiest accent? According to a recent Time Out dating survey, there were a whopping 27% of 11,000 people surveyed in 24 cities across the globe. They believe that this accent...
I know. I don't have to say anymore. I know exactly what it is. Sexiest language on the planet, Vietnamese.
No, you're wrong.
Wait.
Right?
Wait.
No.
Hold on. German. No?
Not even in the top 10, Pat. German or Vietnamese
German
is not...
or Vietnamese? Neither one?
No, I will tell you...
How about any of the Dutch countries, Holland or anything like that?
I don't think any of these countries are a Dutch country.
I'm trying. These are all voices that I think are very sexy.
You know what I think is sexy? Well, I should probably read the list first, and then I'll tell you, because I think this accent's very, and Pat, you know it. I think this accent's very sexy. Didn't even make the list. Well, here's number 10. Well, Scandinavian. Would that be considered?
Scandinavia, I guess that's, that was kind of on the list, so that's a top 10.
That's 10. Number 9 was Latin America.
Latin America, which actually a lot of times comes at the top of the list because most people think that Spanish is a very romantic language.
Scottish came in number 8.
Wait. Scottish?
Like, yeah, beam me up, Scotty?
Yes.
Oh, Sweden.
Sweden. Yeah, Sweden. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
That was from Claudio, who speaks Spanish, is Spanish, and he says Sweden. So, where have you been visiting for vacation? So
Italian came in. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so Scottish was 8.
I don't get Scottish.
I don't get it. Beam me up, Captain. Yeah, right.
Well, that's
Scotty?
a Scottish accent in English, but yeah.
No, but they're saying this is
the English
accents. No, these are accents, Pat.
Okay.
So Scottish accent, Spanish. How could Spanish come in number 7
after Scottish? I don't get it.
And then
have they been listening to Coffee Time Spanish?
Yeah, hola, the Coffee Time Espanol. Hola.
Okay.
Italian came in sixth. Who are these people? Who are these people? Italian and Spanish are romantic languages.
Absolutely. French is definitely a romantic language, and it depends on the person, but can be a sexy accent. Yeah.
Australian came in fourth.
I like on a woman. I love an Australian accent.
Really?
Love an Australian accent.
Okay, because that probably explains why the GPS in your car, the lady speaks with an Australian accent.
No, it's actually because the English one with the English accent, you can't understand what the hell she's saying. It's just has more.
Even
to do with.
Well, do you have it on? You have a Droid. Does your Droid allow you to change accents?
I haven't tried. That's actually a regular English accent on the phone.
Mine does.
Okay.
I have an iPhone 6 Plus.
And what's the accent on yours?
It's a man, and I think it's just a man.
Just a man.
English.
Just an English accent.
British.
But
British accent.
British accent.
He has a British accent. Remember when Karen worked for us?
Yeah.
I had a British woman work for me for a short period of time. She was an intern, and she had to come to work every day and say, "Good morning, 00." She had to say 007. I totally made this poor woman. She was Claudio. She was an intern. I made her say 007 every day. She had to say, "Good morning, 007." I know. It's so weird. Okay, number 3, Irish. Sharon McSorley, that one's for you. Mary Liz Jackson.
And Irish and
Malibu.
Scottish are pretty close to each other.
That's going out for Sharon, because Sharon's married to Sean. And he is definitely Irish. Number 2, American.
Okay, but it's hard for us to tell because being that we live here, to us it's just how we talk, so it's kind of hard to judge.
But American could be anything. I mean, look at the different sections.
Hopefully they're not talking about regional accents because if they talk about regional, there's a lot of variations.
I'm going to ask you about regional accents in a minute.
Okay.
So the number one accent, that sexiest accent, is the same that's on my iPhone. It's the British accent.
The British accent.
Now,
all right.
I just think the British accent is kind of cool. Would I say it's the sexiest accent? Absolutely not. If you know me and you know I love Dancing with the Stars.
Daniel Craig.
Oh, Daniel Craig is, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
See?
But you also know that I love I love my Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
And my favorite dancer is Max. And Max has that
That's just
sexy
because you think
Russian accent.
That's just
him
because
and his brother are freaking hot.
It's because you think that's because you think he's hot. You look at him and you say he's hot, and you just like the accent based on their looks. If it was just some guy, if it was like some guy that was like 300 pounds and like hairy like a bear and had the same accent, you wouldn't be going, "That's a sexy accent." You'd be like, "Oh my God, this guy's a pig."
You know? The guy's a pig. I wouldn't say that. No, but I think come on, you know that when I go to the kiosks in the mall, I see those sexy Russians, and I even said it, and you're like, "Don't embarrass me." I always go up to the guys that "Oh, lady, give me your hand." They have that sexy Russian accent. I'm like, dude, how come all you sexy Russians always work the kiosks? What's up with that?
By the way, every time I ask her not to embarrass me, she never listens.
Never.
She always embarrasses me.
and that's a good thing.
For who?
For all. Come on, I embarrassed you on the wedding when we got married. In Las Vegas, I embarrassed you at our Las Vegas wedding. When we were walking to the chapel and getting in the limo, I was all done up with hair and makeup and everything. And what did I say to people? Should I do it? Should I do it?
Yeah.
Should I do it?
Yeah.
And they were like, "Do it, do it."
And that's because other people were saying, "Don't do it, don't do it."
But so anyway, I digress. This American. So which accent do you think in American? You got guys from New York, New Jersey, Texas.
I think
you're Mr. You don't have an accent at all. Pat Harris, ooh, no accent. He's Mr. Proper. I always enunciate my words.
I do not have a regional accent. I don't have.
Did you hear that, folks? I do not have a regional accent.
There you go. That's correct. I think to me, anything from the Northeast is not sexy.
Ooh.
Okay,
you just pissed off a lot of people.
So Mike Walter, all you boys up there.
Don't say that about Mike Walter.
That whole area, that accent is not sexy.
It is. Don't listen to him.
There's nothing sexy about coffee, okay? Or dog, or orange, okay? There's nothing sexy about that. The car. Go to Boston, the car. We're going to go get the car.
Oh, Johnny K is going to kill you.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing. Okay, Johnny K, nothing sexy about your accent. Okay? Nothing.
Oh, my my gosh.
Nothing sexy about it.
You know what I like? I like a good.
Did I just piss a few people off?
Oh, you just did.
Good.
You're gonna
Learn how to speak without an accent.
You are so going to be tied up and gagged when you go.
Good luck on that.
Not by me.
Mike Walter's going to have to put on a few pounds before he can pull that off.
Oh boy,
And Johnny K will have to shut up first.
Oh, boom, boom. He's heroic. You're so dead. You're like so dead. I don't want to be standing next to you in 2 weeks. You know what I like, Pat? I like the Texas. I think the guys from Texas have a sexy accent. So
I think as far as regional accents, Southern accents tend to be a little bit more. Can be a little bit more on the sexy side, unless it's like the Southern, like the kind of hillbilly accents aren't really all that.
So like
but,
people
from you get a like,
Carolinas.
Yeah, you get a nice soft Southern accent on a woman, and it can be very sexy.
Oh, absolutely.
But if just like anything else, it's like a British accent. A proper British accent is it sounds it's sexy and it sounds very proper. But you get somebody with a Cockney accent. Hello, love.
I've got some fish and chips.
Nothing sexy about that. Again, if it's I don't want to piss off our Manchester United fans, but some of those accents not too sexy. So yeah, some of the regional ones,
Yeah. So, all right. That's what can I tell you? What do you got for me? Now that we pissed off half the listeners. Click, 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 click.
No. There's only Mike Walters gets the jokes.
He's awesome. Mike Walters is very cool.
And Johnny K doesn't listen. In general, he doesn't listen.
He's not listening. Trust me.
He's not listening, so
He's
I'm not really worried about that.
So,
and nobody else knows who the hell these people are. So,
well, next week's going to be a great show. Next week, it will be a great show. I am going to have a special guest come in, and and the new movie 50 Shades of Grey is coming out.
So can we do like too bad we couldn't get like a digital copy and do like a play-by-play and try to ask what the heck are they? No, we probably shouldn't.
I am looking forward to me and my girl Pat. Not you, Pat number two.
Pat
number two. It's so funny. Like my husband's name is Pat, and my best friend, one of my best friends, her name is Pat. So it's Pat number one and Pat number two. So Pat number two and I are going to see 50 Shades of Grey when it comes out this weekend. And we are both going to be on the show together along with Pat number one. And we're going to talk about 50 Shades of Grey. We're going to give you our review of 50 Shades of Grey. So
you're so excited you can't even pronounce it.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to that. And speaking of 50 Shades of Grey, did you know that Miley Cyrus has submitted an S&M themed short film called Tongue Tied to the New York City Porn Film Festival?
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And it's out there, folks. If you want to see it, it's a short film. It stars Miley.
Good old Miley Cyrus, boy. That religious upbringing sure did stick, didn't it? It really did.
I don't want to blow it for anybody. But the video contains no sex. And Cyrus never appears fully nude. The singer does get blindfolded, tied up, and performs sexually suggestive poses. Really? Didn't we see that sexually suggestive poses at the VMAs, like 2 years ago?
Yeah, she has some videos
with blurred lines and the Thicks, Robin Thicke and the Bear. Do we really?
She has done everything in her power to change her Hannah Montana persona, because let's face it, Hannah Montana was a huge character, and if she didn't break out of that character, she would be stuck as that person for the rest of her life and probably would not have a career right now at all, because you can't play Hannah Montana past a certain age. And she just went completely the opposite direction, which I'm kind of shocked, because it seemed like she was raised kind of more strict Southern sort of.
Yeah, she's a beautiful girl.
Oh, absolutely.
She's stunning. I mean, when she even gets older, she's going to look amazing. But if you remember, Madonna did something like that. Madonna did a little something like that too. What's that on the screen that just popped up?
Oh no, that's just.
Oh, okay.
That's nothing.
Okay, I'm like, hey, what popped up on the screen? Hey.
Yeah, everybody's like, what screen? What are you talking about?
If you only knew what was in front of us, what we see, it's amazing. Pat has rigged this.
She gets
thing.
a little distracted sometimes.
I get a little distracted, but but Madonna did that. Justify My Love. That was a whole like bondage thing, and that was pretty risque at the time.
Well, Madonna was always good and still is good at creating controversy that keeps herself relevant and in the news. I mean, she's in her 50s now, and she's still able to do that.
Awesome.
So,
I just hope that I'm able to rock like Madonna when I get older, because Madonna and Cher still have it. They can still, they can still perform. They could still dance. They could still just rock. Those are two. Even Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks is amazing. Love Stevie Nicks.
And she's always been very talented, and she's still. And the thing is she's been able to kind of keep her voice. A lot of performers, after a certain age, they just don't have the voice anymore.
Yep.
And there's only a small percentage. I don't know if it's genetics, and it's certainly not how some of these people take care of themselves, because a lot of them did some heavy partying. But
not Marie Osmond. And Marie Osmond, who we saw here in Vegas, shout out to Marie. She's amazing too. Marie was great. Remember you're not a big Donnie and Marie fan, but if you are in Vegas and you want to see a really cool show, you enjoyed it. You did.
Yeah, no, it was well
good.
done. It was a well done show, and they, it was they had some funny parts
and they
some
danced
corny parts, but it was some variety to it.
Great.
And she still looks great for her age.
She looks amazing, and she could still dance, and her opera voice, just beautiful. Everybody, we were all crying when she sang that song.
Well, I wasn't crying.
Me and the lady sitting next to me at our table.
Because you guys have PBA, so
we have. Yeah, that was.
So
PBA.
now here's if you're listening to the show, here is your homework. You need to go and look up PBA and figure out what it is. It's not the Pro Bowlers Association. So. Because now we're for the what is the PBA? It's an actual. It's caused from brain damage. So that's probably you probably got it.
That's probably me. Oh, I grew up in an Italian American family.
And got whacked in the head.
Got whacked in the head lots of times by my dad.
Bam.
I know Brenda's listening. That's the one family member. I know Brenda's listening, and Brenda would attest to it. My dad, he used to knock us in the head a lot. So but he wasn't abusive. That's just the way we were. We're an Italian-American family. We got slapped a lot. That's nowadays, you can't do that with kids. But
be in jail.
Back in the day, we got smacked. And, now I'm suffering the consequences, I guess. And with that, Pat.
Well, you want to get smacked in the head?
I think so.
It'll knock you straight? Well, everybody, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode.
It was memorable.
Of Staying Up with Pat and Jodi, and I'm sure we pissed off a few people, and I don't care.
No, I care, guys. No, we didn't. We know, we love you guys. So if we made fun of your accent, it was just, it was all in fun.
She's already apologizing before they ask her to. You see how you've fallen into that whole trap of apologizing when you say something that people get offended by?
I do. I want to be liked. And unfortunately, I have to learn my motto for 2015. It's to shake it off. Because the haters are going to hate.
That's right. Again, thanks for listening this week. We'll be back next week with another exciting show. And we have a special guest that I don't even know who they are. I have no idea.
You know Pat. Pat number 2.
Oh, I thought you were going to have to. That was somebody else that we were thinking
Pat
of.
number 2 is coming. Oh, maybe that special guest too.
Yeah,
but okay.
All
right. Listen next week. You never know. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Adios.
Thanks for listening.